You will make this decision whether you will suck up to your boss or not accept crap or whatever. I was lucky in that respect. I have no compulsions, so to speak. And that's the reason, that is also one of the better reasons why I moved out.
Mohit, how old were you exactly when you took this major switch of career?
I was about 29, I think.
29. Preeti, how old were you?
I was around 28, 29.
Similar
Yeah,
to Mohit.
similar,
So like
yeah.
almost like a quarter age review rather than a mid-age review.
Yeah. The switch was also for another reason. I make candles now, and that has been my hobby since I was 11 years of age. And I'd been pursuing it somewhere, making it as gifts and giveaways and stuff like that. But then there came a stage when I started getting like huge orders. I was working like 10 hours a day, 8 hours a day, 12 hours a day. And then I would go home, I'd be making candles, And after doing this for a while, not too long, maybe a month or so, I was like, this is not life. I don't want to look into the mirror one fine day and figure that I've gone old and I've done nothing. So I said, okay, I need to take a call on this. And that's when I decided I was going to pursue my hobby.
Do you feel doing this a little earlier will prevent you from going through a certain kind of turmoil much later in life?
Some of us who are courageous enough and who have supportive people, because I would have not been able to do this, Sudeep would have not been able to do this if we did not have strong emotional support. Because for us, it's a dream that we are chasing.
So have you preempted a midlife crisis by taking this decision earlier?
100%. The reason for that is because I have seen both sides of the fence now. I know how it is to move out from a protective umbrella and do what one really needs to pursue and do what one needs to do, and to also be within a system and work within the system. So I've done it both, and I know which I would want to do for the rest of my life.
So Dr. Rukshida, can you preempt a midlife crisis?
The Chinese define crisis as a dangerous opportunity. So the dangerous is the negative and the opportunity is the positive.
Like Sudeep said earlier.
Absolutely. And you do with it how the best way to prevent any kind of crisis at any stage of life is to realize that you are going to change. You are going to constantly keep evolving.
We tailor make everything in our life. The car we drive, the house we want, the clothes we wear, the shoes we wear, and most times even the person we marry. So why can you not decide the 15, 14, 18 hours of your day, how they need to be? And today I agree with Sudeep, I work harder than before because I have a renewed focus and I'm able to do different things which I was not being able to do on my own time.
Right.
Because
it's a
this is my
decision
life.
that you take at that stage of your life.
Absolutely.
Anil, you also moved from the US, I think.
That's correct,
to
2 years
Pune.
ago. Yeah.
You switched jobs, and that was also at a certain stage and age of your life, which is very recent.
I've been working for the same company for about 11 and a half years. But I continued to do that because I felt like I was getting challenges, I was getting growth. And then last year or so, that has not been the case. And there's been a stagnation from the perspective of my role. I really didn't feel like continuing, and I opted out now basically to work for a small company where there's a lot more creative work, there's a lot more energy, and I'm not worried about the money part. It really doesn't bother me one bit, and I'm very happy making that switch.
Dr. Rukshida, women in their midlife crisis seem to have issues that are more emotional and personal and interfamily related. Whereas when we're chatting with all the men on their midlife issues, they seem to be very profession related.
Because men and women approach work very differently. Men and women approach family very differently. I'm not suggesting that the family is not important to the men or the work is not important to the women, but what is their comfort level as to talk about what and what priority they give when? That's also very different.
But the level of emotions, are they the same for men and women through their midlife phase?
The underlying emotion is the same. The manifestations of the emotional problems are more.
Yeah.
A woman going through a crisis quite often is going to go through it quietly for quite some time. A man, if he's not well, everybody knows he's not well from day one. So that's also because how the yin and the yang works.
It's more like, in my case, for example, after having done it, after lived in a big house with 4 bedrooms and 2-car garage and everything else, you come to the house and the charm just isn't there. So the disenchantment only happens after you have had something.
Which is why it happens in the midlife
Correct.
phase
So
for the
it's
guy.
not an issue of all the other things. It's more like you walk into the house and it's like, okay, just brick and mortar, it's just a building.
Dr. Rukshita, do you think that the next generation of urban professionals would be suffering from midlife crisis at all? Or do you think they take life-altering decisions and go through a quarter-life crisis or a midlife crisis much earlier in life because of high stress levels?
I have 19-year-olds coming and saying that, what have I done with my life? Look at Sania Mirza, she's a millionaire by now. So they're going through a crisis at 19. So there's never a exact or the true or the labeled time or age to go through a crisis, definitely. But because of the stress that we're going through, we're not also very, very comfortable sharing ourselves with other people. We are a little distressful, a little cynical, a little jaded. So because we don't have the support system intact, that does play a role in our inability to cope with life, frankly speaking.
There's just a little more thing that I'd like to add. We say this word midlife crisis, this terminology. I think by itself it's a very defeatist thing to hear. I think it's a midlife review.
You are going to change and you should take stock every few years or every few months or every day for that matter, 5 minutes, introspect, see where you're at, see what you're doing, whether you like it or you don't like it, and then change. You're going to change anyway, just do it a little bit more consciously.
Midlife is a time that we all go through once in our lifetime. What are the different ways of coping with the changes that come with it? We'll find out after a break.
It wasn't that I was in control or I was deliberately doing it.
This is what I want to do and I'm going to do that. If you don't like it, I can't help it.
Question mark, inverted, who am I?
India's biggest name in business news and the world's most credible name. Now with full force on Times Now. Business Buzz, a hard focus on business stories.
The business stories that you want to know more about, because we don't just read out the numbers.
Business Buzz, weekdays at these times only on Times Now.
Let's cut sex without condoms. Let's cut condoms without sex. Let's cut hypocrisy. Let's cut corruption. Let's cut the flab. Let's cut the 1:30 a.m. deadline. Let's not cut dancing in the bars. Let's cut dancing on the streets. Let's cut songs from movies. Okay, let's not cut songs from movies. Let's not cut their space. Let's cut the rapist mother's balls. Let's cut digging roads. Let's cut building vote banks. Let's not cut sports. Let's cut politics out of sports. Let's cut his hair. Let's cut income tax, service tax, corporate tax, sales tax, wealth tax, advance tax, cess on tax, tax on tax. Let's cut the faff. Let's cut the bullshit. Let's cut the gyan. Let's cut a long story short. Mumbai Mirror, cut for you.
Mitra, My Friend was a film that dealt with the midlife crisis of a homemaker who eventually turned to an online relationship to help her get out of it. Let's take a look.
Mitra, I'm trying really hard to reach out to those I've hurt, the ones I love. But I'm finding it so difficult.
How could you lie to me, Prithvi?
Lakshmi, I just came in for this meeting.
Adha enakku pidikadu. You only respond to words like meetings, deadlines, etc. You've become a bloody robo, Prithvi. You had all the time in the world to go and meet some silly woman from the net. But you couldn't spare 2 minutes to resolve the crisis at home.
What's happening?
You just stomped off like some major emergency.
Dr. Rukshita, this is a vulnerable moment, a midlife crisis.
Yes. We come across men who've been unfaithful in the past, but alarmingly, we're coming across women who are being unfaithful these days. Not so that these feelings did not exist, but because of our lifestyle, because of the changing lifestyle, the opportunity is there for the woman to take as well. And that can make or break not only a family but also a person. I also have a lady coming to me, she's in and out of affairs. And she loves her husband, she doesn't want a divorce, he doesn't want a divorce, he knows a little bit about a couple of her affairs, not all of them. And she sits there and she cries and I can't stop it. What her problem was the initial excitement and the high that she was getting from attention somewhere else that her husband wasn't providing. When she's restless, she finds him missing. And that's when she's already tempted and she's already leaning towards having an affair, and then she goes ahead and she does it. And then she's again in the phase that, okay, now that I'm already committing adultery, let me just go on, continue it for some time. And then she stops it again, and then again they get back together.
In fact, Anu, in your case, when you came into your midlife and you felt that sense of loneliness because your kids were now going away for higher studies and to pursue their careers, you felt a sense of gap. You then tried to emotionally occupy yourself in getting your daughters married.
There is a sense of low self-esteem if all your friends' daughters are having these band baja shadis and your daughters are like on the shelf. My elder daughter is going to be 28 and she's still not married, and I can't look for her, she's too aggressive. This one is still simpler. She still agrees to go and see guys.
I wasn't very keen on getting married, but I went along with the process because it made not only her, it made him also feel happier. Because if I was like, no, 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 then they would be like, how else are you going to get married? So I went along with it because it made her feel better. And I think if it gave her a sense of purpose and if it made her feel she fulfilled a certain responsibility towards me, I don't see any harm in it.
Men define themselves with the job that they have. The woman as well does that. She's a homemaker, she's a wife, she starts calling herself as a mother. She's not addressed as this one's wife, she's addressed as that one's mother. So all of a sudden when that kind of goes away, you do feel adrift, you do feel bereft, and it's kind of like a grief reaction that you go through.
Right. Was this a way of coping with your midlife loneliness, do you feel, Anu?
Yes, and also that I felt that, you know, you have this thing that bacche settle nahi hote unless they are married.
Anu, then were you being a little selfish, do you think, now looking back at it?
You know, I was not in control. I mean, it wasn't that I was in control or I was deliberately doing it. But when it comes to the crux, your reasoning fails you. It's just your emotion that takes over.
Let's say there is a 1 hour period, 2 hour period when you're going through hot flashes, cold flashes, whatever those are.
No,
and
it's don't know whatever those are.
No, I mean, I don't have the experience, so I'm not going to say that I understand them.
Don't dismiss them as whatever they are.
So let's say you go through a day of that.
All right.
Okay, and then another day, do you now make an extra effort to kind of be there, to make up in a way when you're feeling better? When the hormones and all that is
under
control.
No, but even when I'm having my hot flashes, I'm alone. I just have one napkin dabbing myself. Who's there with me? Just a napkin and one TV remote control. Who's there? Nobody.
More sensible people will compensate for something that they think that they've hurt someone or they didn't understand it.
And that's what the issue is really.
I mean, like it is, that's what. And if I've said something and the next day I'll make it up.
Also, Anil, do you think that at this stage of life, sometimes you look back and when you're taking a review, you end up being a little cynical?
You start off with an anger, and then really after you deal with that in whatever way you deal with it, then there is a revival of innocence kind of thing. You are simply saying, this is what I want to do and I'm going to do that. If you don't like it, I can't help it. So I don't think anything is selfish in that at all. This is society's way to make you feel guilty again at that point.
No,
essentially, because they want you to go back.
You don't do things. You don't do things because society is asking you to do, or that's your role in life as a bread earner, as a son, or as a caretaker. You also do all these things because at the end of the day, it makes you feel good.
But at the same time, when somebody says, if you love me, you will do this, that's a different equation. But don't turn it around as a controlling mechanism.
I mean, who decides what's a controlling? I mean, maybe you have some certain expectations from your wife, and I mean, and maybe she thinks that you are controlling her.
How many things do you do because you have to, and how many things do you do because